The previous show ended just as the bubble burst, but now we pick up the action with just our final 20 players remaining as we go into the final day. Every single one of those players is guaranteed a payout of $800, but they don't want that. They want the title and the $20,000 that comes with it. Still at the table is Vince Diver. VD12345 is looking to do a historic back-to-back. Can he do it? Let's find out.
Hello and welcome back to our coverage of PKR Live. This is episode 4. Down to the last 20. The bubble's been burst. All these men will walk away with money. I'm Colin Morris here with Scott Shelley and James Sudworth. PKR pros here to offer their analysis. What do you think about this table, gents? Scotty?
Yeah, you got a good mixture of players. You got King Kai in there, veteran on the tournament scene. Defending champion VD. Baz Ultra. A few other notables.
Okay, thank you. Bet 15,000. Oh, sorry, seat 7.
Baz Ultra peeling his cards up there in the three-striped hoodie. Decides to let go. Don't see a lot of relief on the looks of these faces. James, you'd think these guys would be happier now that they've made the money.
Yeah, usually when you get to the money, you see a lot of loose play. People want to try and go for the first spot, seeing as they've cashed. But I think these guys really want to make the final table before they really start aiming for first.
Well, Mr. Mod's pocket threes against LJF aces, ace 10 suited. A little something for everyone on that flop.
All in. How much? About 65.
Well, you heard it, folks. Mr. Mod's all in. What are you doing here, Scotty?
It all depends on stack sizes, really. If you want to commit enough to the pot and what you're going to be left with.
63,500.
James, you shoving back?
I think it's an all-in, and I think with the ace-10 of hearts there, you're ahead against a lot of hands, other flushes. And if you are against a better hand, say a pocket pair, you're flipping against any pair on the board or 7s, 8s, or 9s. And you're not in too bad shape if someone's got a high pocket pair either. You're going to be in pretty bad shape if you go against the set, but the way the hand played out, I very much doubt it. So I think I'll probably call with the ace-10 here.
Easy to say, hard to do when you're at the table. Dealer calls time. Oh. Well, you could see his chest moving up and down as he thought that one through. Obviously under a huge amount of pressure. Makes the call. You can see the percentages there. It's practically a coin toss.
Oh, I'm dead. Sorry, say that again. All right, sorry. What was it, 63,500.
LJF Aces has him covered, but this will change his tournament life in a significant way should he lose this pot.
Walk in, I know it.
And the ace has hit. So now it's very few outs for the threes to claim back the lead.
A 5 or a 3 would do it.
Can't be a heart.
Oh! Well, right on time, Scotty. The 3 does come out, but no help whatsoever to Mr. Mod because it makes LJF aces flush. And a little round of applause goes up for Mr. Mod. He fought a hard battle, but in the end, a big call from LJF aces sends him packing. He's going to go back to the bar to perhaps drown his sorrows. Not so bad. He goes home with $800.
Mr. Mod, you're one of Ashley's favourites. You're our first to drop out here on day 2, taking home around $800, I think it is.
Yes.
How are you feeling about it right now?
Well, I'm pleased I made the final 20, but trips against the flush. First hand, it's a bit disappointing, but I don't like to play, you know, a stamina game. I like to get my money in, and this time it didn't pay off. So
Quick
it's been
spurts.
a very good event and a lot of skillful play. So.
Yeah, who's going to be your tip for the top now then?
I don't really know. I mean, it's quite open. There's a lot of skillful players, and I think last year's champ has had a little rush. He went down to 6 last night and has come back up.
Yeah, looking really good today, isn't he?
Yeah, so also that Mamba fella is very tight, and he might do well. But it's open. There's only 19 left.
And so it's really early on in the day, so it means you've got the whole rest of the day to drink.
No, I've got a christening to go to, actually.
Oh, well,
which,
that's kind of nice.
Starts at 3 o'clock in Woodford, so I've got something.
Go, get in your cab and go. Go on, get out of here. Thank you.
Okay, you ready to go?
Well, that's 19 players left in this tournament. 9 at this table, 10 at the other. A few familiar faces on this one. Bit of a PKR favorite if you're familiar with the site at all. King Kai sat to the just opposite the dealer in the baseball cap. How do you fancy his chances, Scotty?
Well, he's got to be the player with the most experience in the tournament. But he looks relatively short-stacked. So he's going to have to do something sooner or later. And here it goes.
Scotty with the crystal ball. He says it and it happens.
Hold on.
James, all in with 6-10. What's the logic here?
Yeah, a lot of people will think that it's a spaz move and whatnot because he's only got 10 high. It's actually the correct move to play situationally because he needs to rebuild his stack. He's in the money. He's aiming for first. He needs to gamble, and if the blinds hit him, which they're going to do soon, he's going to be committed to call with even a worse hand, and he's getting fold equity when he pushes rather than having to call someone else's all-in.
So a little bit more value for his money, in other words.
Absolutely. He can take down the blinds with if everyone folds, and you know he's probably at 30% or 40% depending on what calls him if he does get called.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of if so much as when. Baz might be tempted with pocket 2s. LJF aces with ace-king, almost certainly going to be looking that up. Baz right there on the button, wearing the headgear.
Call, C2.
Makes the call.
All in, C3.
Getting punished for the call now.
It's an interesting spot because Bazultra's called with 2s here, and he can only ever be in a flip against Kai's hands, and he's got to be in a race. And with 2 people still to act behind him, I think he's best off just folding his deuces here and hoping that someone else calls him to knock him out, rather than risking a portion of his stack with only a very poor pair.
Fold, C2.
Are you saying that initial call might have been a mistake?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a mistake. I mean, in hindsight, he is actually winning against both ace-king and 10-6, but without the cards shown, he's committing his stack for no particular reason with a bottom pair, and he's only ever going to be flipping against King Kai. And the possibility that someone else behind him might move all in, like the ace-king, is quite high in the blinds.
Well, here we go, folks. King Kai, the PKR pro, fighting for his life. And he's not got much ammunition here, just a 10 and a 6 against an ace and a king. Both cards are live, though, for Kai. And his fans will be hoping he hits one of them here. Well, he's going to need more than one now with that king out there.
Not the best of flops for the 6-10. Needs to hit a jack or something here.
5 comes out, that's no good for Kai. He gets up as he's now drawing dead, shakes hands. Lots of goodwill for the PKR Pro at this table. And that's it, kids. We're down to 18 players now. King Kai goes home in 19th place. That's worth 800 bucks. But like everyone else who goes out in this position, he'll be ruining the missed opportunity.
You're out early doors, Kai. Unlucky, mate.
Yeah, it happens. I had a short stack going into the final day, so I knew I had to move in one of the first 10, and I then got 10-6 off, and I thought, hey, this looks like a good hand. Why not get it in? And I got one call from the big blind, no, from the button, and then the small blind just shoved in, and I said, yeah, good game, guys. He had ace king low and hit a king on the flop, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, was that a rush of blood to the head, the 10-6?
No, it was just, I either had to go there or the next hand, and I thought, yeah, why not 10-6? I probably have 2 live cards anyway, so.
Well, you did pretty well. You were one of 2 remaining pros. James 6-6, now our remaining pro. Is that annoying?
Yeah, especially because it's 6-6-6, you know, but yeah, let's hope he wins it for us, so good luck to him.
Okay, thank you very much, Kai, and hard luck.
Thank you.
Unlucky, mate. Well done.
Yeah, come together. Seat 9 as well. Adjust your cards. Adjust your cards. Okay, no, we're okay. Yeah, once the cards are there, you just wait for confirmation that they're going to be scanned. You'll be okay. Okay. Big one raises to 8,500. That's 8,000. Right. Oh, sorry. It needs to be 10. I'm a normal. All in. How much is your card? Okay. Yeah. The action's over there. 20, 30. Nip my way to the final 35. 40,400. 40,400. That's total. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, what's your plan now? Level 120. Sorry? Lemo 120.
So, new player at the table. Catch up with him in a minute. Vince Diver putting on his shades. Fancy his chances in this one, James?
Yeah, he's done really well. I mean, he won the last PKR Live, and he's now going deep in this one as well. So, I mean, if he can keep up his a fairly decent run and not have any bad luck, I think he's got a great chance. He's the sort of player that will go deep in the tournament quite often. He doesn't get too aggressive. He takes it steady and battles his way through the field.
Yeah, not one to be caught out of line much is Vince.
Okay, all in, seat 8.
Well, speak of the red-haired devil. That's Vince all in with ace-3. He's going to run into trouble here in the form of Gab 1988.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice surprise as he looks down now.
There is Gab there to the dealer's left, wearing the red shirt. Baz might be tempted as well with the pocket 5s. Dealer just counting out the chips. Oh, and re-raise all in from Gab 1988. That's 66,000 chips. A little bit more. No decision then for Baz. He gets rid. And the rock-solid Black Mamba has a look at the chips. No decision there for him. Well, Vince is going to need a bit of luck here to stay alive. Let's see if the dealer is going to accommodate.
Seat 1 aces, seat 8 ace 3. Yeah, sorry, I'm just... Make it better? Straight. Is that okay?
If I do get 2, 4, 5.
125 grand in this pot. It's a big one.
Yeah, his best chance here are a few clubs or 2, 4, 5 out there maybe.
Well, there's the 4.
Some sweat, part 2. And the king. Part 2 on.
Dealer adding a bit to the tension here.
Again, guys.
There's not much left in it. In fact, there's nothing left in it. Vince is drawing dead on the river. 9 makes no difference, and we lose our past champion, Vince Diver. Warm hand of applause, very popular player on PKR. And Mr. Diver goes out in 17th place. That's worth $800 to him.
Vince, the back-to-back was not to be.
No, shame. Came out 17th or 16th in the end, so a bit disappointed.
Yeah, disappointed, but come on, you've got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I was happy to go back-to-back in the money, so would have preferred final table or finish, but happy to play it and looking forward to the shootout later on. So,
tell us very quickly about your final hand there.
I'm under the gun, wake up with ace-3. I've only got about 9 big blinds, so I just ship it all in, get called by aces, and flop 6-4-6, so kind of running dead by the end of it. Jack comes, I'm dead, so that was it.
Good fun being on that TV table there?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Didn't get there long enough for this day, but yesterday was a lot of fun and definitely a good addition, I think.
Okay, well, as you say, we've got sort of 16 runners and riders left. Who do you fancy?
James 666 or Baz. Strong players, the best out there, but Lemo's got a good stack, so it's going to be tough.
Good stuff. Well, look, good to see you've done so well again this year, proving that last year was no fluke. So very well done again.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Cheers.
Well, there's 16 left now. That's what they're holding this hand. What does it take to get through a tournament at this stage?
A lot of luck. A lot of luck is involved, and you need the ambition and the aggression to keep your stack high, so that when you do go all in, you're not going to be committing your tournament life to the all in, so you can stay in the tournament even if you do lose.
Well, a lot of all-ins on this table, hardly surprising. The blinds have gone up. Short stacks are getting desperate. One player who's definitely been stacking them up is LJF Aces.
Funky little re-raise here from the blind.
At this point in the tournament, you don't really see many plays and outplays and moves, but here Lemo's really taking the game into his own hands, making moves with 3-4 suited. It's a great hand to see a flop with, but if you can just take it down pre-flop, it's even better. And he knows he can fold off a lot of hands. Unfortunately, not King-Queen.
Lemo picks up the call from LJF Aces.
Yeah, big stacking position. He's going to like to peel one here with the King-Queen.
Well, and a nice straight. Well, flops a straight, actually. I was going to say a draw.
Flops the joint.
Now, no matter how hard Lemo tries, he's not going to be able to get King-Queen off the pot here, so it's really going to be tough for him to win the pot. He's definitely not going to be taking it down on the flop or probably the turn. And his only chance is if hearts come on both the turn and river, and then he's got a shot at winning the pot, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to get a fold.
Very much a process of damage limitation here, I would have thought, for Lemo.
Yeah, I think this all-in by LJF Aces has really saved him. Obviously, he's going to be folded with his 4 high. He's got no value whatsoever. I think LJF, in hindsight, will look back at this and think maybe he could get a little bit more value by just calling and letting Lemo bluff some more, rather than going all in with the cold nuts. You don't get a better hand on that flop.
Well, LJF Aces takes the pot, and with it grows his already sizable stack. We've got pocket aces on this hand again. This time it's Baz Ultra. Getting ready for a little more TV time here. Question is he going to find a customer? Oh, and that's an all-in from Baz. He's down to just 38,000 chips. Is that going to scare him away?
I think going all in there with aces usually would be quite bad. You want to try and get someone in the pot there because it's such a strong hand. But he's only got a short stack, so if he raises, he's committing nearly all of his stack anyway, so he has to just push all in, and it looks weaker. Hopefully someone with any pocket pair, or maybe a king-queen or an ace-jack, an ace-queen, something like that is going to call. And there he gets it. He gets threes to put in his chips.
Yeah, in the form of none other than WinXT, a.k.a. Johannes Dijkstra.
No, thanks.
So, another all-in showdown pre-flop. We've seen a few of these. This time it's WinXT that's going to need the luck. Pick gasps from the table as Baz reveals his aces.
Freeze have got 2 suits live. It's the best thing they can look at the moment.
Yeah, a bunch of diamonds or a bunch of clubs or a 3. Can improve WinXT's hand. Couple clubs here for him. Doesn't look confident though, he's standing up. Only a 3 can do it now. And that's all she wrote for Johannes, aka WinXT. He goes home in 16th place and is the last player in this tournament that's going to receive $800. Prizes go up on the next out to $1,100. And these guys are going to be fighting for it tooth and nail.
Well, I expect the commentators are breathing a huge sigh of relief as you leave the table, because your name is unpronounceable.
Yes, it's a bit difficult to speak out, but yeah, I call it WWNNXXTT.
Very unlucky there, my friend.
Yes, yes, I was short, so I hoped he had Ace King, or so he didn't hit a pair, but he had.
How did you enjoy it, though?
Yeah, I enjoyed really the tournament. It was really nice and fun to play. So.
Tell us about how that was on that featured table there. Who's the player that you most fancy there?
I think, yeah, I don't know the guy's name, but he won now also some big pots. I think he's a great player, and I think he.
And how do you feel personally, kind of getting so close and yet so far?
Now I was the World Tournament a little bit under average, so I think I played a good tournament, and yes, did it well to make money, I think.
Yeah, it's always good to make the money, isn't it? Very well done.
Yes, yes, thank you.
15 left, and at what point, Scotty, you've been there in the crucible of a World Series of Poker Europe final table. How big a factor are the nerves in a situation like this for these players?
It really depends on what sort of person you are. For me, I really expected to be quite nervous coming into the final table, but I really wasn't. Just like, you just seem to focus, get everything out of your head, and just play your game, really.
Well, that's what these guys are going to have to do. Boom, all in from Lemo 120. It's down to just 31,900, so he had to make a move. Well, if he can get them to fold round to the big blind, he might just take it here.
And here Bazultra's in the same spot he was before when King Kai pushed. And the fours, although he's beating something like ace-3 or ace-2, he's also going to be only flipping against any other hand or beaten by an overpair. So it really is up to him whether he just wants to try and take as many all-ins as he can and gamble and get a big stack, or fold. In this case, he's going to be flipping. And now he's just got to hope that LJF doesn't make a move with a big hand. Fortunately, LJF's only got 7 deuce, so he's going to get the fold.
Yeah, he's wide ahead of Lemo's range there, but he's flipping nearly every time. So
yeah,
it's if you want to gamble for the chips or not.
Well, Baz does want to gamble. Gets his chips in the middle, shows off his pocket fours. Lemo's got to be pretty happy with that, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's one of the best outcomes he can come up with if he's flipping. I mean, a lot of the time he's going to see an ace or something like King Queen that he's hugely dominated by. And now he's got a 50% shot at it. So hopefully it's the best shot he's going to have.
And after that flop, Baz is down to 2 outs.
Yeah, the pocket four gamble doesn't look like it's going to work out here.
Lemo feeling quite comfortable, I think, now.
Yeah, and Baz, a.k.a. Barry Cole, is all out of outs. Lemo gets a much-needed double up. Thumbs up from Baz there anyway. He's keeping his spirits up at least. Pocket aces here for Lemo this time. Oh dear, and look at Baz. Can he get out of this one, Scotty?
Nah, I don't think so. After doubling up Lemo in the last pot, he's gonna not have many options here but to get his chips in, I believe. As he does. 2 big hands going to go bump in the night.
Lemo, could he have gotten his chips in any faster?
I think he got his chips in quicker than Baz did there with the aces. So now Baz is only looking for a 20% shot here. Otherwise, he's going to be hitting the rail.
Well, here we are, heads up again, and Baz sees the bad news. Stands up and prays for some queens. Hearts would help him out too. $113 grand in this pot, and Baz Ultra's tournament life is on the line, and not a good start for him there.
Wow.
Wow, well, full house now for Lemo on the flop, and only a couple of queens can dig Baz out of this one. Not gonna happen. Well, he's drawing dead on the river. Shakes some hands. Gets a round of applause there from the audience at PKR Live and participants. Everybody knows Baz.
How much you got? 60. Might have like 3,000 left. Yeah, he's...
Oh, he might still be alive here.
Sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 56, 57, 58, 59. 49.1. You're still in, sir.
Oh, reports of his death premature. Baz Ultra still with 3,000 chips. Slight error there from our usually reliable announcer, Dan Dansky-Grant.
Big surprise there.
Huge surprise. Well, there's a famous poker saying, I won't grind your ears with it now, but if Baz can come back from this, it really would be something special. I think he's got the blind on him next hand as well, so he's going to be forced to play the next hand. And all of a sudden, Lemo's come out of nowhere. 2 big double ups, and he's got to be close to chip leader now.
Yeah, for sure. He joined the table a short time ago, and he managed to get in with the Queen 9 against Baz's 4s, and then he picked up the aces against the queens, and now he's got a really decent stack to play with. And I was playing him for the first day. On the first day, I was playing him a lot, and he's a really good player. So I'd like to see him go very deep. He definitely knows how to play, and he knows how to pick the right spots. So I've got high hopes with him.
Well, he's been very active at this table, and he's kind of stolen a bit of LJF Ace's thunder, hasn't he? LJF was kind of a very active player, then Lemo sat down, and all of a sudden he's gone a bit quiet.
Yeah, that's right. You usually get one table captain who's just going to bully the table and thinks rightly or wrongly that they can play any 2 cards and outplay everyone. It helps if you run a little good as well and get some nice cards. And Lemo, obviously, he had the aces versus queens, but he also made the right move with Queen 9, and he definitely knows how to steal pots and make moves.
And got involved earlier with the 4-3 of spades as well.
Absolutely. He knows how to pick. He's aggressive, and he's definitely aiming for first. Should make for some really good table action.
Well, another guy that we've been seeing through virtually every episode of our PKR Live coverage, but good to see him play a lot of hands. It's the man with 10-7 there, one Black Mamba, the Frenchman. Solid as a rock throughout this tournament, but it's paying off.
Yeah, he's playing pretty tight, you know. He's playing very solid, and it's getting him through the tournament. People are busting out all around him. So that's one strategy of going deep in the tournament. And then all he needs is a few good cards, and he can make the final table and even first.
14,000 to 20,000 votes.
Well, Wizard betting out there with King Jack, making it 20 grand. Scotty, certainly on PKR in our community, and I think in the poker world at large, French players like Black Mamba tend to have a certain reputation in poker circles as being a bit loose, as being maybe gamblers to some degree. Do you think it's well earned?
I think it's more general to European players, I believe. They come across more looser than maybe the players from across the pond.
Well, Black Mamba doing his best to break that stereotype. And Baz gets involved with King 5 here. He's on the big blind. He had no choice. Just down to 3,000 chips.
The thing about this pod is that because Baz only had such a short amount, he's almost quadrupling up with the blinds and the original razor. So this is a great spot for him to actually get back a nice little stack. It's only a small stack, but if he just does this one more time, then he's back in the game.
Well, and he's most of the way there now, all the way there. He hit the 5 on the turn, and that's going to give him a little bit to fight with, as James just pointed out.
And Dad says not to forget Mum's birthday.
Little table talk from the dealer there. So back to this whole debate about continental players, Scotty, and their playing style, and is it worth sort of taking those stereotypes, you know, into the game with you, or is it just kind of a general vibe that's out there about these players?
I'd say it's more a general vibe. I tend not to go with stereotypes and try and get a feel for the player myself and use my own knowledge of them, really.
Well, as mentioned earlier, we're down to 15 players. Prizes go up at this point to $1,100. Of course, it's $20,000 to the winner of this tournament. So $1,100 might sound good, but not when you stack it up against 20 Gs. Baz there with 9-4 on the small blind. He's going to be up against pocket kings at the very least. Black Mamba there with pocket 10s as well, and he's all in. Well now. There's Makey, holder of the pocket kings, and I think he's got Black Mamba covered. Yes, he does, and he's all in.
This is the call. This is dramatically seat 2 call.
Well, and Baz goes along for the ride. He's got no choice, really. Three-way all in, but the real story is Black Mamba's pocket 10s versus Mikey's pocket kings.
Okay, seat 2 with 4-9, seat 5 with pocket 10, seat 9 king.
See the numbers there. Black Mamba's pocket 10s only slightly more favored than Baz's 9-4. Well, there's the 9 for Baz.
I feel good about this hand now. Caught up a bit.
No help for anyone on the turn. Mikey's pocket kings still holding up. And no help on the river. Handshakes all round. And we've got 2 exits from this final table. Baz Ultra, kind of predictably, didn't manage to win through with his 9-3. That's worth $1,100 to him. Black Mamba, too, goes home in 14th place, also with $1,100.
Well, Black Mamba leaves us in 13th place. He doesn't speak much English, so I'm going to try and speak French and translate as I'm going along. It was a shame, unlucky. Tell me what happened. Dommage que tu es parti, mais dis-moi ce qui s'est passé.
Ben, j'ai relevé une paire de 10, 10-10. J'ai fait all-in et j'ai été payé par King.
Oh.
Voilà.
And there's not really much you can do in that spot, really. So, pas rien à faire, hein?
Non, il n'y avait plus rien à faire. J'étais short stack. Il fallait absolument que je double. Et donc, j'ai envoyé all-in. Je suis mal tombé.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing else I could do. I was short-stacked, find myself with pocket 10s, and unfortunately, they fall by the wayside, as you would expect against pocket kings. C'était comment être sur la TV table? How was it to be on the TV table?
C'était une super expérience. C'était la première fois. Bon, on faisait pas attention aux caméras, mais c'était super génial.
Okay, and what did you think of the other players? Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé des autres joueurs?
Il y a de très bons joueurs.
Ceux qui gagnent, qui tu penses? Who do you think will win?
Celui qui va gagner? I don't know, je sais pas. Je sais pas qui peut gagner. Peut-être un Français. J'espère.
He doesn't know who's going to win, but he hopes it will be a Frenchman. Well, there's a couple of Frenchmen left, but sadly, not for you, sir. Black Mamba is out in 13th place, but takes home $1,100. Félicitations, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've lost the Rock. Black Mamba, a.k.a. Christian Poggi, goes home in 14th place. Hard-fought 14th as well. Good for him. Well, Mikey 80 makes it 15,000 with ace 10. LJF aces waiting for him with ace king. Makes it 32 grand. Is this worth a call from Wizard? What do you reckon, Scotty?
I don't like it. Cold calling a free bet is it's a bit dodgy here. It's really if he's deep enough, I suppose he could peel one off.
Well, he does just that.
Not in love with it though, really. Mikey's getting the price to make up the extra.
The one thing I don't like about Mikey calling here, although he's got the odds in to make the call, if the cards are face up and he knows what he's against, is the fact that if he does hit his ace, he could be dominated by the ace king. If he does hit his 10, he could be dominated by an overpair. He really won't know where he is at any stage of the hand unless he flops a real monster.
Well, he's got his 10 here. That puts him in the lead. It's Mikey's forced to act first. He checks, as does LJF aces, as does Wizard. So Mikey, obviously not feeling very confident about that 10 as predicted by you, James.
Yeah, I feel, although he's got the second pair there, it's going to be hard push for him to think he's ahead. If he bets and gets calls, he's really got to think he's behind. If he checks, someone might bet with just the queen king or the ace king or some sort of draw, and he's really going to have to think hard about whether he calls or folds, because if someone bets as LGF aces has now, and he calls with his second pair, he really has got to be facing a river bet as well, because he's either going to be against a bluff that's going to be double barrel or a better hand. So, in essence, if he calls here, he's got to call the river if there's a bet as well, because that's what's going to happen.
Is that dependent on river card, or you think he has to call any river card?
I think it's dependent on river card, but most river cards, anything below a 10 is just a blank, complete blank, given the action. If it's a queen, a king, you know, he could probably find a fold. But anything else, he's ahead, if he thinks he's ahead on the turn and is calling, he really has to call the river as well. So this is the sort of spot that you get in when you call out of position with mediocre hands like ace-10. It can really get you into trouble. I prefer a fold.
Well, Wizard's got a decision to make here, too. He's counting up his chips. Sitting on pocket sevens.
And again, as the ace-10 got into trouble, the sevens that cold called, again, is getting in trouble purely because he's calling. He's called a 3-bet, so there are people showing aggression, and he's still calling with sevens. He could be seriously dominated pre-flop by anything above 8s. And he's only flipping against ace-king, and what's he going to do when he gets overcards on a flop like this? It's a tough spot to get in when you don't really need to. You can just fold. Pre-flop, I think, is the best way here.
Yeah, with the cold call pre's also opening himself up to another over the top from Mikey.
Absolutely.
Could squeeze there with the 3-bet and the call behind.
Wizard gets rid. Exits this tough situation. Now it's Mikey's turn to have a big think. look of pure concentration. Glance up at LJF Aces to see if there's anything on his face, and then he puts his cards in the middle. Lets him go in the end, even though he had the better hand.
It's one of those spots in poker where you could have the best hand, you could have the worst hand, but it's just not worth getting into the situation of calling and you're putting money in the pot where you might be ahead, you might not. I think the fold, although we can see the cards, was the wrong fold. As he's playing it, I think it was the correct fold.
Well, nice to see a hand with a bit of play in it anyway. Entertainment for our viewers at home. Just a reminder, these boys are playing for a top prize of $20,000. Down to the last 14 here. This table and another. When they get down to 10, they'll be on the same table. Folds round to JJ Bird on the button. He doesn't want to know either, so it's just the blinds now. Lemo 120's shown us a bit of play earlier. Looks like he's getting ready to do something with 8-10. Does a little hip swivel. Throws his chips in. That's a big raise. $17,000 to Mikey on the ace-2. How staunchly do you defend your blinds in a situation like this, James?
Blind on blind, you've got to reduce the number of the hand range that you're facing. So if you've got an ace, you've got to be thinking you're good a lot of the time. The only question is whether you raise or call here. If you just call and don't see a flop with an ace, you're going to have a hard time trying to play it unless you're willing to play it. A lot of play post flop. If you raise it, then you have to fold to a jam all in. It's really tough in that spot, but I definitely like the raise there.
Well, yeah, and Mikey takes the decision away there with a big re-raise. Lemo lets go almost instantly. And nice little pot for him there.
Yeah, Mikey picking up that Lemo's been quite active and that his ace was highly likely the best card in that spot.
Well, blinds at 3,000, 6,000 here. Well worth stealing, well worth protecting. Antes as well.
Yeah, nice juicy 10K out there. Six-handed tables, hand ranges are going to open up a little bit.
We might see a little something from Gab 1988. Very handy player. Well, this could get interesting between these two blinds.
As we were saying before, in the blinds there, when you've got an ace, you've really got to think you've got the best hand. And these two have both got aces, and only Gabs is slightly superior. So we'll have to see what happens.
Well, Mikey makes it almost 3 times the big. And a re-raise this time from Gab to 50K. And absolutely correct. It's like an instant replay of the last hand. It's different protagonist and antagonist this time. And the same result. Small blind folds to the big blind's aggression. Well, there's Gab explaining that he had the ace as well after Mikey showed his off. How important is table image at this point? Is that what these guys are up to, trying to let everyone know how solid they are?
That could be part of the game. I think those guys just wanted a little bit of respect for folding the ace and hope that they can bully some more in the future with lesser hands now that they showed the ace this time.
Well, Gab 1988 with pocket queens here.
3 raises, 8,000 to 16,000.
And he's got a razor. LJF aces leading out with 16K. Lemo lets go. Mikey 80 gets out of the way. Oh, all in from Gab 1988.
Now, LGF really has to wonder what Gab will make this all-in move with. And although LGF has an ace, the likelihood that Gab's going to be raising with anything that the ace-6 is dominating is very slim. And the best he could look for is if Gab had a king-queen sort of hand that he's getting a bit juicy with. Most of the time, Gab's going to have a pocket pair like he does from 10s upwards, or a better ace. So either way, the ace-6 is dominated.
Gabor Visvensky putting the sweats on his opponent here. And he lets go. That's a big pot for Gab. About 157,000 chips, 157,200 to be exact. And great hand for him and a great way to end coverage of this episode of PKR Live. Just one more bit of footage to show you here. Another player you might be familiar with. Our very own James Sudworth went out a bit earlier. Chloe caught up with him.
Ladies and gents, we have lost our final team.
I think I'm going to cry.
James 666.
They're just talking about you now. Look, that round of applause is for you. Enjoy it, enjoy it. We'll let them finish talking about you. I am heartbroken. My favourite has just gone out on the bubble. You've entertained me all weekend. How are you feeling right now, huh?
I'm feeling fine. I came in short stack, so it was gonna race for the final table at the best. I got in with jacks against 6 deuce and last. I got in with 6s against ace king on a 6-5. Whatever. That's poker.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm loving the fact that you can say it with a big smile on.
I always have a smile on my face.
Anything to do with what's in your hand?
I've got the Jaeger, so it's always a smile, yeah.
Nice one. Well, it's been an absolute joy. Honestly, you've made my tournament for me. You've kept me going when times have got hard.
Well, at least we've got a good-looking presenter now other than Ashley. So.
I don't think you heard that. He's giving you the dirty eye, but I don't think he actually heard what you said anyway. He just gives you the... Oh, he is. Bless him. But enjoy the rest of the day, babe. I'm going to see you around. We'll have a drink together later on.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers.